This week on Centennial Sports TV, thrilling action on the ice as CSTV's own Melissa Bufunos looks to push herself to the limit and make her mark on the Centennial men's hockey team.
On the hard court, with a respected reputation as a basketball factory, we take a look inside at how Eastern Commerce has become a high school powerhouse.
Running wild on the track, the ladies of Toronto Roller Derby will make you want to take up the sport. CSTV starts now. Hi everyone, welcome to your number one source for East York sports. I'm Caitlin Pierre. This is Matt Schott. You're watching Centennial Sports TV.
We have a whole bunch of firsts for you in the show tonight, including the men's soccer team searching for their first victory. A female hockey player looks to make a good first impression, and our crew gets their first look at female roller derby. But first, Caitlin, tell me about this men's soccer team.
Well, Matt, the Colts men's soccer team went into their game last Sunday hoping to get their first victory, not just of this season, but of the past 2 seasons. Could the team break their losing streak against the defending division champs, the Algonquin Thunder? Andrew Garris has the answer.
The Centennial Colts suffered yet another heartbreaking loss today, this time at the hands of the Algonquin Thunder by a score of 1-0. The game started off with a very difficult situation for both teams to deal with, the referees ending their warm-up 15 minutes prior to game time. With temperatures dipping into single digits, players needed as much time to prepare as possible. However, not only did this particular referee cut short the warm-up, he almost single-handedly took over the game, engaging in verbal disagreements with players and coaches prior to kickoff. And finally, by dishing out card after card after card when the game finally got underway. Despite the early conflict, the Thunder took a 1-0 lead off a perfectly timed corner kick by midfielder Ryan McCurdy in the 41st minute. That was all the Algonquin Thunder needed, as the Colts struggled mightily to hit their marks, missing on several chances that they did have. We caught up with the head coach of the Colts after the game.
We haven't been able to just put it together and score the goals when needed. I mean, this is a very good team. Algonquin, they won the division last year, and to lose to these guys 1-0 is a good show.
Thunder head coach Jimmy Zito didn't hold back in his post-game interview.
I think both teams were neglected a warm-up because the referee decided he was going to come in and change the rules, change a warm-up, and let players stand around for 10 minutes.
Colts now have 1 game remaining on their schedule and are looking for that decisive first win of the season when they take on George Brown next week. I'm Andrew Garris, back to you.
East York Collegiate's annual Friday Night Lights homecoming football game took place tonight against the crosstown rival Leaside Lancers. This is the 5th time the teams have met in the event, with Leaside capturing last year's match 10-2, snapping the Goliaths' 4-game winning streak against the Lancers. Both teams headed into tonight's annual event on a losing streak. Friday Night Lights kicked off earlier today with the juniors game, followed by the seniors game. For more information on the outcome, log on to torontoobserver.ca.
The hockey arena at times can be a place where courage comes to the forefront. Igor Enriquez reports on how one of CSTV's own is trying to make her passion a reality.
Melissa Bufunos is used to the thrill of competition on the ice. No matter the opposition, she always seems to rise to the occasion and prove naysayers wrong. So when the annual Centennial College men's hockey team tryout took place, Melissa had a point to prove, one that she made in dramatic fashion early on.
Top shelf where Mama hides the puck.
Goaltender Kieran Kennedy saw nothing but positives in the situation.
I think it's great. I actually played on almost every big company I played on. There's been 1 or 2 girls, and I makes the makeup of the team a little better, a little kind of equal, I guess. But the talent's always there whenever they're nervous, so it's all about talent.
Talent is something that Bufunos has an abundance of, but in the world of hockey, talent will only get you so far. Grit and hard work are also required, a message that was sent loud and clear at the first tryout.
Wow, it was a little harder than I expected actually. Those coaches really gave us a good workout. Like, I've never had to do sit-ups and push-ups during a practice before. So yeah, it was pretty intense, but hey, I didn't throw up and a couple of guys did, so you know what, I'm feeling pretty pumped right now. I'm only 5'4", 125 pounds, so like the actual typical NHL size is like literally twice my size and like 100 pounds more. But you know what, I've played men's college hockey before, so I was a little bit worried, but once I got on the ice, I just felt like I was more than that again. even in the warm-up at the beginning, I was skated by a few guys, and they were like, woo! And I was kind of like, are you for real? Like, I'm here just trying out like you guys. But by the end, like, after I scored a bit and, showed them some of my skills, yeah, a couple of them were coming up and congratulating me, the coach as well, so yeah, it was pretty cool.
The fire of competition. It brings out the best in some and the worst in others. For Melissa Bufunos, the drive to succeed conquers all. Igor Henriquez, Centennial Sports TV.
After the break, find out why Eastern Commerce continues to be a dominant basketball team in East York year after year.
Also, we take a closer look at the action-packed world of roller derby.
Hi, this is Dwayne Siblis, assistant coach of the Eastern Commerce basketball team, senior basketball team, and you're watching Centennial Sports.
Centennial Sports journalist, get way into the game.
I love sports because I'm competitive, sports are competitive, and it's all about passion.
I love all the excitement and adrenaline that goes along with sports.
Welcome back to CSTV. I'm Caitlin Pierre. This is Matt Schott, who I thought was supposed to be trying out for the men's hockey team. Were you not?
Yeah, I was, but I'm so poorly out of shape that had I actually participated in the tryouts, I probably wouldn't be sitting here today. So.
Oh, lucky for us you are.
Thank you.
The Beach's co-ed slow pitch league is a staple of the East York recreational sports scene. And although the social aspect is a big part of the game, I can tell you from experience that it's pretty competitive as well. Nadine Liverpool faced the elements to bring us the championship series.
It's a rain-filled affair, but that hasn't stopped the Beach's co-ed Division A slow pitch finals from taking place. It's a showdown between the number 1 ranked I'd Hit That against the number 3 Stir the Pot here at Antonia Park. The regular season champs had the pitcher's number in the first game. I'd Hit That drove in 13 big runs in game 1. Their defense was stellar as well and held Stir the Pot to only 6 runs. Frustration set in for Stir the Pot as they were now 1 game away from losing the championship. But in the second game, Stir the Pot found their mojo and finally got their bats going. They took advantage of the automatic out that I'd Hit That had to surrender due to a shortage of women. Stir the Pot went on to win and forced a game 3. A big 4-run second inning put Stir the Pot ahead in the final game. Despite being down in the 6th inning, the underdogs completed the comeback and took the championship 12-9. For I'd Hit That, the auto out was a key factor in their loss.
We were down 3 injuries on the girls, so we played short with an auto out. So I feel like we could have did really well in the finals, but we just lost 3 girls by injuries. So.
Both teams are good friends. We've both been playing against each other for 10 or 15 years, so it's a great, a lot of fun playing against each other. I mean, either way we would have had fun, but obviously it's better to win than lose.
For Centennial Sports TV, I'm Nadine Liverpool.
The Eastern Commerce High School basketball team is, to say it bluntly, a juggernaut with 4 consecutive city championships. So what's their recipe for success? CSTV's special correspondent Umar Ali has more.
Walking up the steps of the 85-year-old building, it's hard to believe a basketball powerhouse is produced behind these doors. Kevin Jeffers, in his 2nd season as Saints head coach, has been with the elite program for over a decade, and he suggests playing for the prestigious squad is not for the weak of heart.
Times when new recruits come in, they see the Nike gear, the championships, the rings, they see all that stuff, but they don't see the hard work, the sprints, the yelling, the screaming, the sweat on the floor, guys diving in our practices. They don't see that, and it's very tough because some people come in and they can't handle that and they can't hack it.
Practice is crazy. Coach Matt, Coach Sean, and Coach Dwayne making us run. If we're late, we gotta run. That's a lot of running, hard work. You gotta be dedicated to do this. You can't just come in the gym and say, okay, I want to be an Eastern Conference basketball player. You have to have the mindset first and then the work ethic.
For those who can, success is found both on and off the court.
It's a system that's in place, and everyone has to buy into that system. I think the ultimate goal is definitely winning, but I mean, even bigger than that, we're trying to produce student athletes, you know what I mean, and ensuring that you got to use basketball as a tool, you know what I mean, as so many guys before you have done.
Upon entering the gym where the Saints practice and play 4 home games, the accommodations appear underwhelming. Playing in such a small space can be both beneficial and detrimental.
Because in practices, it doesn't feel as big as a regular court, because it isn't. But when it comes to game time, you get winded quick. But after you catch the wind, you're good.
We pride ourselves in our gym, our box, we call it. You know, it's very hard to come in here and try to win. But all of our games are played outside, so it's not just these 4 walls, it's not just the atmosphere that you get when you walk inside this gym. We pride ourselves on playing in other tournaments and other big gyms and stuff like that. It goes down to the recipe of success, you know, hard work and dedication, and then we demand the best from you as a student, as a player, and as a young individual.
To be a Saint is a privilege not obtained through talent alone, but by displaying a diligent work ethic and earning recognition as opposed to expecting it.
You know, demanding the best. I don't care how good you are, how many points you can score. If you can't give it up and leave it out for us, then you're not an Eastern Conference basketball player.
The Leaside girls field hockey team remains atop the South Region Tier 1 standings after a 5-0 rout of Riverdale A on Thursday night. The Malvern A team also won their game against North Toronto A 1-0 to keep in stride with Leaside. Both have 20 points. These two teams face off on Wednesday, October 13th at 3:15 p.m. at Cherry Beach West.
With names such as Nikki Nine Lives and Junkie Jenny, it's hard to take women's roller derby seriously. But these feisty females will fight you to the death to defend their choice of sport. Here's more.
One of the common misconceptions is that it's just a whole bunch of girls sort of skating around, beating each other up. It's actually like a really, really challenging sport.
It's an actual sport. It's not just girls in fishnets and you know, mini skirts pushing each other over for fun. There are rules, there are penalties. It's really intricate and it's really unique and it's a lot of fun. I think everybody should come out and check out at least one game.
People should come watch roller derby because it's an awesome experience. The energy level at these games are off the charts. A lot of people get into it. It's kind of like wrestling, except it's not for show.
Oftentimes people ask me when they hear that I'm playing roller derby, they ask me if it's real.
The Tord slogan is real women, real hits, and real heart.
It's very accepting. There are people who you wouldn't look at and necessarily think this person is an athlete, but it's just very accepting, and there are just people of all kinds in this league.
What surprised me most was the camaraderie in the group. I had no idea who these people were that I was skating with. I didn't know anybody, and as the season progressed and as the training progressed, you learn to rely on these girls. It's like a sisterhood, basically, and we're all very in tune with each other, especially on the team, but more so on a bigger level, like within the league itself, because we not only skate in the league, we also run it. It's very challenging, it's very physical. I mean, girls get injured all the time.
Usually a roller derby league will get probably 4 or 5 leg breaks a year. Broken collarbones are very common.
I've seen girls go down and break ankles and all kinds of ligaments and things, and just hearing the blood-curdling screams is not fun. But part of my job is to keep it safe.
It's for real. The hits are solid, hard hits. You hit a concrete floor when you go down.
These are serious athletes. They're working hard out there, but they also play hard and they have a lot of fun.
It's completely the opposite of what I expected, and I love it. I love it.
Coming up, after the break, East York has once again caught Maple Leafs fever, but will the blue and white once again disappoint?
And find out what our Centennial Athlete of the Week hopes to accomplish in the future, both in and out of the classroom.
Hello, I'm Renee Paquette.
And I'm Arda O'Cal.
We are from Right After Wrestling on the Score Television Network, and you are watching Centennial Sports Television.
It's 100 years, right? Centennial.
Centennial Sports journalist. Get way into the game.
Because sports are awesome.
I don't know, why is the sky blue?
Welcome back to CSTV. I'm Matt Schott. This is Killer Caitlin. Killer Kate, you think you could take those roller derby girls?
Yeah, I could take them.
Atta girl.
Like this season's survivor, the Toronto Scottish Rugby Football Club is pitting younger against older this weekend. The Dave Phillips Memorial Over 30 versus Under 30 rugby game is taking place 1 p.m. Sunday, October 10th at Lords Park Collegiate. I'll be there at this game taking in all the action, so tune in next Friday for the coverage.
It's that glorious time of year when the weather is colder and the leaves are changing. It's also the start of the NHL season, and before the Maple Leafs home opener took place yesterday, Ashley Morris went to the streets to get people's thoughts on this year's changing Leafs.
I'm down here at Pape and Danforth at the Fox and the Fiddle, and we're interviewing Leaf fans to find out what their views and opinions are for this upcoming year.
I have a lot of faith in the Leafs this year. They made a lot of good changes. I'm pretty confident they're going to make the playoffs.
Maybe they'll get a team this year. They haven't had one for what, 30, 40, 50 years? When's the last time they had a team?
The Leafs need to win a Stanley Cup, but it's just been like now almost 50 years. I mean, the Blackhawks did it last year.
I don't know. It could go well, it could go badly. We were 29th last year, so I'm hoping that we get to maybe 27 at the least. But we could be a playoff team. It's really depending on if some young guys and some new guys can really step up this year.
I'm hoping the Leafs end up doing better than last year. They finished 15th in the Eastern Conference. I'm hoping for an 8th place finish. Playoffs. For God's sakes, the playoffs. 5 years they haven't made it to the playoffs. I want to have my jersey on. I want to have my clapper going. They need to make the playoffs.
Let's bring the cup home to Canada where it belongs, boys. It's about time. Come on.
And once again, it's time for the Centennial Sports Profile of the Week. This time, our selection is Kieran Kennedy, who is looking to make an impact on the Colts men's hockey team.
I started playing when I was about 4 or 5. Got on skates and then basically tried out play for competitive hockey as a player. Failed at that. Turned to goaltending and then tried out and made the team, so kind of took it from there. I've been playing goalie for about 12, 13 years now. It felt good to be back on the ice. I've been off for a little while. A lot different, a lot bigger turnout this year. Players are a bit better. It's good to be back out there, but he did work a little hard. It's expected for the first tryout. I'm in my second year of recreational leisure services, so basically I'm kind of in class and out on the ice right now.
And now it's the premiere of CSTV's Highlights of the Night.
Another first.
Let's check them out. Number 3 at the Eastern Commerce practice. Check out the air this guard gets. A good few inches over the rim, and in it goes.
At the Beaches co-ed slow pitch finals, we find number 2. Steve Paisley absolutely rips this ball over the field, bounces in the street.
And number 1, our own Melissa Buffunos, the only girl at tryouts, stuffs it past the goalie, tells him to get in the kitchen and make her a sandwich. Well done, Melissa. Well done.
Well, that's all we have. It's time for us to go eat some turkey.
Do you guys have turkey in the Canadian Thanksgivings?
It's exactly the same as American Thanksgiving, Matt.
So you got the yams and marshmallows. I can't wait to take part in my first Canadian Thanksgiving. For Killer Caitlin Peer, I'm mischievous Matt Schott. Thanks for tuning in.
We'll see you next week. Have a great long weekend.
Good show, guys. And fade to black.